Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business.
Welcome back. Today, I'm so excited to welcome Maria Perl, owner of Spark Ops Metalworks, a welding and metal fabrication business right here in Wisconsin. Maria isn't just building a business. She's forging her path in an industry where women are rare, and she's doing it while being part of the Green Bay Packers Mentor-Protégé program. Maria's story isn't just about sparks and steel. It's about what happens when you refuse to let obstacles define your limits. Maria, welcome to Real Talk. I'm so thrilled to have you.
Thank you, Anna. I'm so excited to be here. It's an honor.
So can you explain to our listeners what exactly is Spark Ops Metalwork?
Yes, so Spark Ops Metalworks, it's a metal fabrication company located in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. We're established in 2022, and we are woman and minority owned, certified both by the state of Wisconsin and on a federal level. We have our own patent product, which is a modular system that it's reconfigurable and reusable, and it's been used for creating structures for Fox Sports, for CBS, staging, but also it helps create platforms in the aerospace industry and soon to be on other places, locally places for leaders like Road America and EAA too.
Wow, yes, that's fantastic. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how this company was built?
Yes, so Spark Ops was built in 2022. The word, so the whole name brings up the opportunity, not only to take those opportunities, but making them happen. And how could we also give opportunities to others through our work? The company had the focus on getting those opportunities. After 2020, we found out that as many other people, we were forced to change, and we were forced to set an outcome and work through it. We started to have some questions on how are we getting clients. We were manufacturing for other companies, but how we were going to get our own clients and our own opportunities, because you need to create those and being able to find them and to make them work. So that's how Spark Ops was born, I was going to say, but yes, established.
And I mean, obviously, you grew very fast and furious. We're talking about 3 years, and you already cornered the market. I mean, it's Fox Sports, for our international listeners, this is a huge deal. And EAA, this is our aviation, world aviation show happens every year. Businesses are flying from all over the world to come and see that aviation show. I mean, that's incredible. But as we know, every small business especially has those make or break moments. What's been your biggest survival test so far?
So, although, yes, they are big names, the entertainment industry runs in cycles. So, one of the hardest moments have been learning the cycles and learning how to survive through those. So I'm going to set one example. Our production runs or have run for a moment as a roller coaster. We were extremely busy and with very high production, second shift, weekend shift, in order to set those orders for the Super Bowl. So November, December, January, we were top, and then we came down. So all the people that we hire, the processes that we set in place, and that momentum crashed because we did not have the strategy to hold that. So we were on the top, let's say top of the world, and then we came down. And it was hard because it also breaks not only that energy that was created of, okay, let's go, let's do this. And then, okay, we have just a couple hours or we need to let people go. So it was a very hard moment, but that also gave us the time to sit down and learn from there and think, what are we going to do to avoid this happening again? If this is a market that we're playing, okay, we need to learn about how to set those big crashes, right?
Mhm. Just
So,
yeah, to avoid this cyclical
yes.
trends
Okay,
in your
so
business. Yes.
then we need to get out, we need to get clients, and we need to schedule them in those windows because we have these big commitments. So, okay, but we know that once we give them all the systems, then they're not going to call until the next big event. So, how are we going to set those places and how are we going to set our workforce for that?
So have you done that? Have you put together some processes or some new activities probably to bring business during these dead times in your business?
Yes, and that's where actually our core services work. So right now we are defining our verticals and we are defining how we present this core services. So we have laser cutting, we have welding, we have bending or press forming. So now we are reaching out to prime
Mhm.
contractors or first tier companies, and we're letting them know, hey, we're here to help you offset the the highs. So we're working with a company that it's giving us the designs to cut some pieces for Tesla, for John Deere, for again, like we know we have the quality and now we're proving that through these companies. But that's helping us get through those ups and downs.
Yeah, if you can hear, I'm talking to our listeners right now, what Maria was just sharing with us, it's who, not how. What happened to her is she shifted her focus on who can help us during this time or during busy time. That's very important when you're trying to scale your business, Maria.
Yes, that's true. And I've heard more than a couple times in the past 2 or 3 years that I have been in this position. It's a very lonely place.
Mhm,
Business owners, they don't have anybody to talk.
mhm,
You get overwhelmed. And it might be truth statement, but it also, how are you going to change that?
mhm.
Who are you going to surround to? And that's part of what I have learned through the Green Bay Packer Mentor-Protégé program, that networking it's so important. How just being surrounded by other people, by other ideas can change your perspective. Yes, it would be hard for somebody to experience what exactly the same things that you have, but they may have other challenges.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
you just by listening to them, you're like, okay, like that's another way to see this, and that will push you out. So yes, the who, I think it's extremely important. Who are you surrounded to? Who are you making those questions?
But I think the most important part is you have to reach out
Yes.
because you are the one who reached out. In fact, you're the one who reached out to the Packers Mentor-Protégé program and said, hey, I need help because you understand that you're alone and you're struggling and you want to grow and that's frustrating. But you hit it right on the nail when you said, there's people who can help you. But you
Yes,
have to reach out to them, Maria. And a lot of
exactly.
times, small business owners, I think that we just don't do it. We're so focused. What is
Yes.
our day and the
Yeah.
next day? And you just get into the business so much. And it's like, okay,
Yes.
reach out, ask for help.
Exactly. Yes. I think that one of the best advices that I could give, and it was, again, hard to understand, was you need to get out.
Mhm.
You need to leave your chair, you need to leave your desk, and you need to get out. So I remember back in December 2023, I met Anna. I met you. You were in the marketplace with a Packer, like with the Packer
Yes,
logos.
yes.
And I was like, well, why is she selling? Like, and I just came and I said, hi, my name is Maria. Like, what do you do? And you talked to me about this program and you had a list. So I put my name, I put my email, and I put the name of the company. And that moment had so much impact now. But I have to say that I was annoying too. Like I will message you like, "Hey, when is the program starting? Are we
Yes.
getting in this year? Are we
Yes.
getting in the next one?" Because we were having challenges and I was trying to reach out for help and that advice.
Mhm.
Like I don't expect for anybody to come and do my job
Mhm.
because that's my job.
Yes.
But listening to different experiences, to different, to me, that has huge value in everything.
And so what did they say? Remember, I said you have to wait to go through the process. Yes, I know we have a lot of business owners. They want to start right away, but going through the process, you learn that you should go through the process because electing the perfect mentor or perfect coach is extremely important.
Yes. Yeah, I think that that was also another lesson. Things come when they have to come,
Mhm.
not when you want them to come. And it may have looked like we were ready, but that patient and that pace, we had to follow the process. We got to we got to meet other mentors. We had to share our story with them. We had to listen to the
From the previous year, yeah, the
the
graduate.
previous year
Mhm.
and their experiences. And that also starts to build this image of how, what am I getting into? You know, it was not only like a one-on-one, it was also like, okay,
One on five, one on 10 right now. I know it's like you have all the support. I mean, it takes a village to
it does.
raise a child, and that's pretty much the concept because we're trying to surround you with as many experts, and you have your primary mentor, Jim Filter with Schneider National,
Yes.
who is, I know he's phenomenal.
Amazing. Yes. Yes,
So,
but also having the ability to get other mentors, it's like they're there and they want to help you. It's
yeah.
not only like they are there, they want to help you. And they, in a scrimmage, they would say through their experience, hey, I think that you're maybe missing this part. Are you working on this? And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like just taking notes.
You brought another very valid point here. You reached out because we have, like you said, we have some proteges who do not take full benefit of all this availability of resources, reaching out to people and helping them. And again, I know that you receive a lot of advice, but again, it has to go through you and saying, is that worth it for me to implement or not? You're the
Yes.
last stop,
Hmm.
if I can say, because this is your business. They
Yes.
they they come to your business or they come to know your business for 5, 10 minutes, or let's say an hour. They don't live in your business.
Hmm.
How do you evaluate sometimes the advice you receive from outside consultant, mentors, coaches?
So what kind of like my practice is I pay full attention and I stay wide open, no judgments. When you sit on a chair where you are receiving and being open, like I think that's where you get the most chance to get all those gold nuggets that they call. So that's to me the first thing. Second, I take notes. Who said that? Like, because I might don't get it in that moment, but then I check on my notes. Oh, maybe this one was meaning this thing, and also setting that to my business. Is this something that I can apply right now, or is this something for the future? Because they can see things that I can't yet, but I have that. I have that in my notebook. So in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, oh, this is what they were talking about, and I can then apply it yet. So, but it's like they give you some hints too. And I feel that when you're willing to ask for help, you also have to be willing to receive that help.
Yes, very important. Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing that. I'm going to switch right now a little bit our topic and ask you, how do you handle work-life balance in a demanding industry, especially, female? Because I know that a lot of our female entrepreneurs, we have a lot. So how do you manage this balance?
I have been working a lot in my personal journey and my personal beliefs and reevaluating what are those. They talk a lot about the imposter syndrome, and it hits you. It hit me when I was sitting
Can
on a
you, I'm sorry, can you explain the imposter syndrome? Because I know that we have, again, international listeners, they don't understand this term.
Yes, so the imposter syndrome, it means when, I don't want to use the word sabotage yourself, but when you think that you are not, that you may don't have enough experience or enough knowledge. So you start to doubt yourself. And I remember at one moment I was sitting on an executive room, and in front of me I had the CEO of Kimberly Clark, the CFO of Plexus, which is a huge company, and the vice president of Husco, and this big names, and I just like freeze, and all I could think was, what am I doing here? And I start to make these questions, negative questions, like, "M- these people are so big. Maybe I don't have enough experience. Maybe I don't have enough knowledge. What am I doing here? Why am I here? What?" And I stop and I said, well, now that I'm here, I'm going to take this opportunity. People, and they were all males, I gotta say, and they were all over 50 years. So here I am.
Foreign
Um,
born
here I am.
woman in a
Yes, Maria, and I'm gonna say it like very big, right? So Maria
yes,
Fernanda Pearl, very, very, very Mexican, very dramatic,
yes.
like owner of a small business in the middle of this big titan, like knowledgeable table discussing how geopolitical changes were going to impact the industry. And I just took a deep breath, and I knew I had to stop asking why I was there and just making it work. I had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to be seated there, and I just embraced that opportunity. After a while, they had lunch. Well, we all had lunch, and I just noticed that we were 12 individuals grabbing a sandwich. I made it a big deal in my head,
Yes.
and I took it down to,
Everybody's human.
we're all humans. We're all in eating
Oh,
a
yeah,
sandwich.
exactly. Eating a sandwich. Exactly. Exactly. Wow. I mean, that's fantastic. And that's why you're successful, though. That's
And
why
I
you're
think
successful.
it was very impactful at the beginning when they opened the door, and I noticed that I was the only woman there. And I mean, I'm 39 right now, but I was the youngest. But when I walked out of there, I was proud of myself. I was in this in this mood where I was like, well, I almost don't believe that this happened, but it happened, and I'm proud.
You should
Because
be. You should
because
be proud of
it
yourself.
doesn't matter what, if other people think that
Mhm.
I did not had enough experience or knowledge, I was there.
That's
And
fine.
and I had the opportunity to learn, to listen, to embrace that moment. So yeah,
Wow.
I
Wow.
survived.
Wow, that is awesome. So looking ahead, what's the vision for Spark Ops?
We
Where
have
do you see and where do you see the company?
we have a big vision statement, which is shaping the world for the better. So with our services, with our core services, and with our product, we build shapes.
Mm-hmm.
We build trusses that then they make this either big buildings or platforms or stages. And we had the opportunity to send these ones to other states, but also out of the state. Our products have been at FIFA in Qatar, and they have been in Mexico, they have been in Canada. Right now, we have some products in Canada at Rogers Stadium. So the vision is to, with these shapes, putting our quality and our heart and our pride to get the world in, put that little grain, like of hard work, but vision, but mission and passion, and to also put out that can-do mindset. In our in our company, we have people from a lot of places. We are very fortunate to have multicultural environment, and every time somebody's working on a shape or on a piece, we like to remind them as a culture that what you're doing right now might be displayed in Las Vegas. It might be displayed in Canada. So what you're doing, it's important, regardless if it looks like this little piece, or if it's a big thing, everything that you're doing creates that impact. And it's going to
Yeah.
be seen for other like in other places. So you should be proud of that. Like we we put that into our culture, and we hear our our coworkers and our employees, our team, talking to their wives and talking to their kids. Oh, like the pieces that we were working in December, they were at New Orleans at the Super Bowl, and then they went to the Sean White Snow League in Aspen, and then they went here and they went there, and a part of them, a part of their heart, it's moving around. So to me, that has a lot of value, and that's something that culturally we want to set since day one.
What you're creating is an incredible culture because every one of your employee is very proud of their work. That's what you're creating, Maria. And that's why, again, for our listeners, they don't know, but they don't have a problem with finding employees. A lot of employees, or even not even being employed, they want to work for their company.
Yes, we again, we are very fortunate. We have been involved in the last year with Envision Greater Fond du Lac here in Fond du Lac, and they are working with students from high school, from middle school, that again at that age, at 16, who knows what you're gonna do, right? And they come and they have a tour, and they're like, "Can I work with you?" Because they see this, but they feel that energy. And for us, that's super important.
Yeah, especially working with the new generation,
Yes.
making sure that they are aware of some of the trade opportunities
Mhm.
you can provide, what they can provide. That's fantastic. So before we wrap up, I always ask this: what belief, principle, or mantra keeps you moving forward when entrepreneurship gets brutal? And as you can explain, you already mentioned how brutal it can be. But what keeps you sane, I can say? What do you repeat yourself in this darkest time? It's like, okay, keep moving. It will get better.
Focus on the outcome. Focus on the outcome. Have your outcome clear, loud right in front of you. Focus on the outcome. So I was sharing with you, Anna, that when I was 20 years old, I'm born and raised in Mexico, and when I was 20 years old, I won a scholarship to go to medical school in Cuba, a very poor country with a very different system than what I was used to, and I was 20 years old. And I remember that my stepdad sat with me and said, "You're gonna be hungry. You're gonna be sad. You're gonna miss your house, your bed, your mom, your siblings, your lifestyle. But in 6 years, you are gonna hold your title. You are gonna become a doctor." And I had a very clear outcome. And through all those ups and downs, and through all the tears, I made it happen. So that to me is my mantra. Things are gonna get hard and muddy and ugly, but focus on the outcome. If you may sit and cry because we have all been there, but just wipe up your tears and think in 5 years, I'm gonna be here and work through that.
But you're able to transfer your skill set from back then to the skill set you need to be entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurs is tough, I'm sure. I mean, you don't want to say, but probably you had dark moments where you're crying. We talked about all the flashy things,
Yes.
but you have days where it's like, okay, where my next payroll will come because someone did not pay you on time,
Oh, yeah.
or am I going to meet deadlines? So,
Yes.
and yeah, the transfer, your background is very unique. We did not touch on that, but yeah, Maria's background, she's a doctor, and she was able to come to United States and start this business. And it took her 3 years to scale at the level. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
For
So,
this particular business.
yes. So one of the things it's reevaluate your beliefs. Because I used to believe I could only do one thing or I could only be one thing. And then when life takes puts the opportunities on your table, you need to change those beliefs too and create new habits and grab your skills that you already have and apply them. We are all the time applying these skills in our environment and just complementing and learning more too.
Absolutely. Well,
But that would be my advice. Focus on the outcome.
wow. Thank you, Maria. You're incredible. Your story is exactly why we do Real Talk, because real entrepreneurship isn't the highlight reel we see on the social media, as we just talked about. It's a grit, it's problem solving, it's getting knocked down and choosing to get up.
Yes.
What strikes me most about your journey is how you're not just surviving in your industry right now, you're changing what's possible for other women who might be watching and thinking, maybe I can do this too. For everyone listening, if you are in that space where you're not sure your business is going to make it, or if you're scared to take that first step, Maria's story is proof that survival isn't just about having all the answers. It's about showing up, doing the work, and refusing to quit. You can learn more about Maria and Spark Ops Metalworks at sparksmetalwork.com, and I'm going to put the link into the description of this episode. If this conversation hit home for you, share it with someone else who's building something meaningful. This is Real Talk, because small business survival isn't pretty, but it's always worth fighting for. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.